It's time for Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero. When it comes to news on 95.1 FM, weather always comes first. Excessive, potentially dangerous heat continues over much of the western U.S. Monsoonal thunderstorms continue across the Four Corners region with a risk of flash flooding. A stalled frontal boundary is going to bring additional thunderstorm chances from the mid-Atlantic into the southern plains, where scattered instances of flash flooding remain possible. Closer to home, the wet active weather pattern continues across the region for another few days. Scattered showers and storms this afternoon will give way to widespread rain showers later tonight. Scattered, mostly mountain-based thunderstorms will occur today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, but slightly less active than previous days. Drier conditions are expected later this week, with only isolated showers and storms expected. Daytime temperatures are going to remain below normal for the next few days, warming back up late week as conditions turn drier. We'll have another look at the weather following this news. The New Mexico National Guard says they rescued at least a dozen people and 2 dogs during Saturday's flooding in Ruidoso. Photos and videos posted by residents on social media showed water over roadways and damaged homes in the area. Ruidoso Mayor Lynn Crawford appeared on KRUI yesterday morning.
Low-level moisture out of the Gulf Stream, known as a return flow, is feeding moisture into the U.S. from the south. This is a recipe for disastrous and historical flooding to our burn scar areas. Hollywood gauge reached 3,360 cubic feet per second and a 15 feet 5 inches high yesterday during a peak flooding, which was nothing short of a disaster. If that didn't get your attention, we need to reevaluate ourselves. So, again, we don't have to be fearful. We just need to be prepared and not scared. That's the whole term of the day.
The flash flood comes just after the mountain community was devastated by wildfires in June, which killed 2 people. As a result of the flood damage, the remainder of this year's racing season at Ruidoso Downs will move to Albuquerque. Horse racing will return to Ruidoso Downs in 2025. Also, if you've been denied after applying for services from FEMA, be advised that you can appeal that decision. This past Saturday was Alamogordo District 5's annual citywide cleanup, and what from Mayor Pro Tem Sharon McDonald tells Crazy Radio, the event was a success.
I just think that everything went beautifully, and I'm just so grateful and thankful that people came out. They wanted to work with us. We had a great crew. They did everything that was asked of them and more.
Over 60 volunteers assisted in the effort, which was more people than tools and equipment. Not a bad problem to have.
I would call it way over the top success.
Big thanks going out to all involved. This past weekend was also the annual Weed Bluegrass Festival.
We had a couple of new bands come this year, and they were outstanding. And they really want to come back, and we're tickled about that. And so I just think it'll get better.
Mitzi Baker speaking with Crazy Radio.
I think just about every chair was full. We had a great turnout. I think it was going to be really, really good.
Next year is already shaping up to be an even bigger event. Be advised that the Village of Tularosa's regular meeting has been postponed to this coming Wednesday at 6 p.m. You can check out the meeting agenda in full by visiting villageoftularosa.com. The Republican Party of Otero County presents Ruidoso Mayor Lynn Crawford for a community update this Thursday at 6 p.m. at the new Republican headquarters located inside White Sands Mall. This Friday is the annual Alamogordo Back-to-School Block Party from 4 until 7 at 805 12th Street. That's right across from the post office. Free student hearing and vision screenings are going to be available at the event. Fourth Friday is also happening this Friday. Live music from Rockabilly Strangers at Washington Park from 6 until 10. Admission is free. Alcohol is prohibited. Well, today is Monday. Let's get an update from Animal Village NM.
This is Sunny Harris with Animal Village NM. With some good news for those of you who have pets who have not been spayed or neutered. In Otero or Lincoln County, Animal Village NM can help. For a small copay of $65 to the vet directly, Animal Village NM has never collected a cent for spay neuters, and we've done more than 10,000 of those, subsidized them since 2007 in Lincoln and Otero County. So you pay $65 to the veterinarian. In Otero County, that is Paw in Hand on Cuba near Albertsons. In Lincoln County, that is Ruidoso Animal Clinic, and the vet will schedule your surgery for you after you have the paperwork from Animal Village NM, and then you'll get your pet spayed or neutered for just $65 instead of hundreds of dollars. And for large pets, that can end up being $500, $600, $700. Anyway, give us a call. We have received a small grant. We can do a limited number of these surgeries starting in August. So be the first ones to email us, Facebook us, and we'll give you the application, and we'll make sure that your pets never breed. After the surgeries, the veterinarians send us the bill for the remaining balance of the surgery. If you miss your appointment, we will not be able to help you again, and your copay is not refundable. So please be aware of this before you schedule your surgeries. Again, Animal Village NM has a small grant that we have received for a limited number of spay-neuter surgeries, dogs or cats, in Otero and Lincoln counties. So be the first ones to contact us, and you'll be the first ones to be the proud parents, responsible parents of fur babies who will never, ever breed more unwanted litters in Otero or Lincoln County to suffer. So how do we do this? We've been doing this since, like I said, 2007, and we have subsidized more than 10,000 surgeries. We do this by collecting shoes, wearable shoes from folks who have cleaned their closets out for us and for them, and dropped the wearable pairs of shoes either in the collection boxes at the White Sands Mall, by the ATM inside, or at any First Savings Bank in Lincoln or Otero County, or the Ruidoso Athletic Club in Ruidoso, or the Ruidoso Community Center. We also now have them at the Cedar Creek Market in Ruidoso. So donate shoes, go on our website and donate money, anything you can afford, animalvillagenm.org. animalvillagenm.org.
Good to hear that the Spay and Neuter program is back in action. News from around the state in just a moment. This is Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero.
Directory Plus is the right size book. It's the book if you need a phone book.
That's what just one person has to say about Directory Plus. With its red cover, features, colorful yellow pages, and lots more, it's no wonder people all over use Directory Plus.
It has so much more information. You can cross-check phone numbers or addresses or pretty much anything.
Look on the plus side, Directory Plus.
I'm a big fan of Directory Plus.
Local news from local perspectives, from local voices. AlamogordoTownNews.org. Local sports, local events, and local happenings and more. Nonprofit owned and operated by Second Life Media. We are Otero County. AlamogordoTownNews.org. Heard daily on Crazy KALH Radio 95.1.
One person has died and another was apprehended by Border Patrol Saturday afternoon during a multi-agency search of the desert near Sunland Park. Sunland Park Fire assisted Border Patrol and the Donna Anti-Fire Rescue in searching the area for two people who called 911 for assistance. Both were found and medical care was given. As we stated, one person did succumb to the injuries, while the other was taken in by Border Patrol. A woman has entered a plea in a 2021 robbery case. 29-year-old Amber Yazzie of Gamerico has been accused of entering an insurance company in Gallup with two other people while brandishing a firearm. She yelled at employees for money, threatened them, and shot the gun into the ceiling. Yazzie and the other people then fled to Albuquerque, where they went shopping with the money at the mall. Yazzie pled guilty to robbery and federal firearm charges and faces between 10 years to life in prison. The New Mexico State Police arrested a man after they made a traffic stop on July 16th. An officer stopped for a seatbelt violation, but the passenger had an outstanding warrant for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. He was identified as 19-year-old Jesse Angel Treadway. Authorities obtained a search warrant for Treadway's backpack and alleged they found cash, cocaine, heroin, fentanyl, and other items used in trafficking illegal drugs. Treadway was taken to the Santa Fe Adult Detention Center for trafficking, distribution of a controlled substance, violation of cannabis trafficking regulations, and not wearing a seatbelt. Environmentalists are applauding a Bureau of Land Management decision to allow the sale of a small national public land parcel for an affordable housing development. Roz Brown has the story.
The sale of public lands is controversial, with Republicans and conservative groups seeing states as preferable stewards. Conversely, Democrats and conservation groups argue states can't afford to protect public lands and would sell them to private companies. Aaron Weiss with the Center for Western Priorities says there are public lands adjacent to metro areas in some western states well suited to development that can help solve the nation's housing shortage.
But that's the kind of stuff that happens 5, 10, 20 acres at a time, not the wholesale transfer of tens of thousands or even millions of acres to states and private parties.
For the first time ever, the BLM this week okayed the sale of 20 acres of national public land near Las Vegas to the Clark County Department of Social Services for an affordable housing development. Weiss says the federal Memorandum of Understanding is specific to the Nevada parcel, but he believes there are others near Phoenix or Tucson that would make sense for consideration. Utah Senator Mike Lee and Nevada Governor Joe Lombardo are the most recent politicians citing the housing shortage as a need to sell off public lands to developers. In a letter to President Joe Biden, Lombardo urged approval for the transfer of 50,000 acres of public land around Las Vegas with few restrictions, which Weiss believes would create urban chaos. He says mixing in housing is a new approach to how conservatives now talk about public lands.
After the Republican Party finally recognized that calling for wholesale transfer was a political third rail in the West. No matter how conservative the state, voters everywhere across the political spectrum do not want to dispose of national public lands on that scale.
Weiss says any sale of public lands for housing should require that it's affordable and doesn't end up providing McMansions or trophy homes for billionaires. I'm Roz Brown reporting.
For those who struggle with lack of sleep, the University of New Mexico Health System and Sciences is providing a new way to treat sleep apnea. High blood pressure, heart and lung issues are just some of the impacts of sleep apnea. That's a condition where people have trouble breathing while they sleep. Dr. Noah Syme, a head and neck surgeon at the University of New Mexico, spoke with KRQE.
There's been a device for many, many years called a CPAP that many people are familiar, which is a positive pressure device that's a not surgical treatment. But some people can't use that for whatever reason.
A big issue with the current treatment is that most people who wear it to sleep find it very uncomfortable. But Dr. Syme is hoping to change all that with this new Inspire therapy device.
The Inspire doesn't require a mask. It's all internal. And it's portable. The battery does have to be replaced eventually, but it has a 10-year battery life.
After an 8-year wait, Dr. Syme performed the first 2 surgeries at UNMH in June. In those surgeries, he made 2 incisions, one just under the jawline and the other in the chest, and then inserted a device that looks kind of like a pacemaker into position, and it charges a wire.
We place the wire in the neck around a nerve, and it's the nerve that moves our tongue, that helps us protrude our tongue. Because one of the things that happens with sleep apnea is the tongue falls to the back of the throat, and that's how the upper airway gets closed.
While this treatment was first introduced in New Mexico 2 years ago, the recipients were extremely limited due to insurance. But now it's going to be accessible to a much larger crowd. Potential patients still have to meet certain requirements, including being diagnosed with moderate to severe sleep apnea, and that's determined by a sleep study. You may also have to meet a certain weight-to-height ratio. Finally, you must have already tried and failed a CPAP treatment. Dr. Syme stated the first patients have healed well, and their devices will be activated on July 26th, 1 month after surgery. Weather's next. You're listening to Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero.
Finish your high school diploma for you and your family. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Your Crazy Radio spot-on weather forecast for the Tularosa Basin today calls for partly sunny skies with a 50% chance of showers and storms. New rainfall amounts less than 1/10 of an inch expected. Tonight, partly cloudy with a 40% chance of showers and storms. New precipitation amounts less than 1/10 of an inch expected. Tomorrow, mostly sunny with a 30% chance of more showers and storms. Your high today in the Basin, 81. Low tonight of 61. High tomorrow, 86 degrees. In Cloudcroft, mostly cloudy skies with a 70% chance of showers and storms. New rainfall amounts between 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch expected. Cloudy tonight with a 40% chance of showers and storms. New precipitation amounts up to 1/4 of an inch expected. Mostly sunny skies tomorrow with a 50% chance of more showers and storms. Your high today in Cloudcroft, 59. Low tonight of 44. High tomorrow, 66 degrees. Local breaking news can be found on our website, alamogordotownnews.org, and you can learn more about Crazy Radio by visiting kalhradio.org. Also, check out the Crazy KALH Radio YouTube channel. That's where we post our daily newscasts, complete interviews, and other information which concerns everyone in the Tularosa Basin. Be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to our channel if you've not done so already. That way you too can remain informed of the goings-on in the Tularosa Basin. That concludes today's edition of Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero.